It's a shame that Domino, well, is lost to us now. She was likely just someone who didn't quite yet realize how upside down her world was. Now she will never know. Or perhaps in her last moment she did know, but now it won't matter.
We can only save so many. And there are people who deserve a lot more saving than her. You don't need to apologize. Not to me, at least. So he's still not looking at her, just trudging along at a decent pace. Looking towards the Death Speaker.
The Death Speaker appears to really be trying his best to put Godfrey fully on the horse. Perhaps the old man at one point could have balanced himself, if today weren't today. The mayor is overcome with grief and has that completely spaced outlook that someone who can't process what's happening has.
If we had saved Domino, I don't think we would have saved her because she deserved saving, but rather because she might have been the key to bring down the Black Fang entirely. Entirely, at least, in Newport. Something that undoubtedly would have saved a number of people.
We will never know if we made the right decision or not. What matters is that we learn to live with the decision we made.
Jim sort of glances to Geráck when he says that, but continues walking.
All of us dying there wouldn't have accomplished anything. And I think we made the right decision.
Perhaps.
He will, once we get close enough to the Death Speaker, sort of make sure while walking to tap the cobblestone a few times with his staff as he walks along. It's a walking stick, as it is. Just it's polite to let people know that you're coming, so you don't sneak up on them. And he doesn't really know how keen the Death Speaker's senses are.
Yes.
I think you can hear Geráck approaching.
As your group approaches, Dwohurim will hear a flutter in the air. Peering up, it is Dwohurim's bird returning to him.
Who he would have forgot.
Reach up his arm and let it hop there and sort of perch on it.
It resumes its normal stance.
He'll give it a sort of warm smile and slightly pet it and search his pocket for a piece of dried meat that it can have to munch on.
The Death Speaker turns his head, the eyes peering out of the mask to regard all of you.
Rim gives him sort of a nod. So, do you need any help with that?
Death Speaker shakes his head and says, "No." Looking up towards Godfrey, who is now balanced on the horse. I think he's suitable enough to ride.
He will nod. Dr. Zonald's eyes. I don't suppose we have any reason to delay then.
Yes, he will turn away from Godfrey and look back towards the inn. I would like to stay here, if only for a few days. There are some people here who will have difficulty coming to terms with what happened, and those souls are going to have some trouble being put to rest, having been dragged out into the sea.
That makes sense.
And since I'll be in the area, and I'm assuming that he'll stop and then change tracks and say, I'll check the cavern complex. Perhaps in a day or so, before I return. See if I can find anything that'll be of use in your investigation.
Dwohurim nods, looking slightly relieved for a moment, and sort of like, giving him a thankful smile. Although it's not really a happy smile, just kind of sad. I'll say, yes, I think that would be good. Besides, should any more things from the sea come, you might be able to help these villages a slight bit, although hopefully nothing such as what we encountered.
He sighs. I'll try to convince them to leave this place behind. Hopefully, if anything does come, I'll be able to buy them enough time to do just that.
No, it's sort of goes to shake his hand, saying, just be safe, and I would hate not to see you again.
The Death Speaker will outstretch his hand towards Dwohurim and clasp it.
Give him a sort of a tight-gripped handshake, and then move to Ravinger to get Ravinger in the stable.
All right. Is there anything else your party wishes to do or say within the fishing village of Kilwell?
No, doesn't sound like it.
All right. You begin your return trip in late morning, and God is it slower. Godfried may have once been a capable horseman, but the events of today have made him sluggish and non-responsive. You're also inconvenienced when Tempus turns into a cube during the trip, causing his horse to panic and sending the Forgeborn box tumbling down a hill. As such, you won't make it to the walls of Newport until the dead of night. Bright lights blaze along the coastline of one of the 7 major cities of the entire Dragon Empire, illuminating the numerous piers of the docks. Of course, you're approaching from the east, putting you in contact with the hardened watchmen who overlook the Heights district. The gates are closed, but one of the men, who's actually standing in front of the gate, carrying a mean halberd, will call to you as you approach. "Oh, the gates of Newport are closed for the night, barring sufficient reason. What say you, travelers?"
We come on official business from the, I guess it's called like a governor?
Yes, the Imperial Governor.
From the Imperial Governor of Newport. He wished the mayor of Kilwell brought before him at the fastest possible time.
Have you the Governor's seal? And you would note that you do have that missive, like, from the Imperial Governor's office to bring the mayor to him.
Or we'll show the missive.
All right, the guard will take it. He will give it. He'll inspect it, and he will call up for the thick gate to be opened. Gears begin turning, slowly swinging the portal open. He will hand the missive back to you, and then say, "Before you go, a warning. Yesterday's festival caused a bit of chaos. A few industrious fools got a hold of too much alcohol. Thought they were living vessels of Saint Bane. They removed one of the sewer grates by the docks and charged right in. Of course, the ghouls were all too happy to come slithering out. The official word is that we got 'em all, but those undead bastards are crafty, especially the gas. So don't travel the streets at night unless necessary, and stick close to the lights, you hear?"
Yes, we'll make sure to do that unless we're actually looking for guests.
The guard opens his mouth to say something, but then gives you folks a more thorough examination and says nothing. You are free to enter the city and go about your business.
Good evening to you. I will say that he rides in. He's tired. It's been a long journey, and that whole getting the box back thing, that was annoying.
The guard gives a respectful nod, and as you all enter the city, the gates will close behind you.
I guess we bring Godfrey to the governmental building. I'm sure they have rooms for him.
Yes, that is certainly a sufficient place to deliver him. You will be met by a veteran guard you had seen before in a prior encounter, who, delivered the boy and gave you some information about the grisly murder, who will be, maybe not happy, but at least, performing his perfunctory duty and accepting the mayor of Kilwell. Although appearing, looking at Godfrey and then looking at you, what happened to him?
I'm sure he will be able to give an account of it soon enough, but sufficient to say his village was attacked by monsters from the Iron Sea, and there were quite a few casualties before we could subdue them.
The guard's face edges itself into disbelief. Iron Sea?
Yes, I believe this is the first time we've seen them so close to, in the Midland Sea. It is disturbing news indeed.
The mayor...
He should be given proper care.
The mayor slowly mumbling and shaking his head. Frothy waves, full of blood and my friends. The guard, understanding the situation a bit better, will nod to you and say, "Thank you. Consider your service having been filled for his governorship." And will begin escorting the mayor of Kilwell away.
Now a question more about what Dwohurim knows. She gave us the job about searching for Thurl Dural's murder. Would that be something we were to report to her, or how would we resolve that? Because we kind of found the murderer, presumed dead now. So.
Yes, it's someone that you could, report to. Apparently had the authority to at least bestow upon you with the job, since you folks were so interested in, looking into Thurl Dural anyway. Not exactly sure of the guard's exact rank, but if the guard is entrusted with such matters such as this, that'd certainly be suitable.
Wouldn't it be better if we weren't yet quite done with that?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. That's why I say just more if he knew, if this was. I mean, we're gonna milk that cow for all it's worth.
Yes, Harlan Brennos, delving into what you know and what you've been able to pick up, perhaps during downtime or whatever. Harlan Brennos is perhaps the best term is that the gender pronouns themselves tend to differentiate depending on who is actually being referred to. But yes, a guard captain, and actually does have some pull and sway within the center district. Consider Harlan Brennos to be sort of an authority on homicide investigations and other matters of some import within the city of Newport.
A good person to know. As adventurous of all people. How of our money come from homicide? Subsequent looting of the body. We're good adventurers, though, so we try to justify it.
Try.
Yeah. Well, I suppose we should go back to the academy. That's why we have our rooms. And Dwohurim is tired after our
Yes.
whole...
It is quite late.
Just waiting all the time.
So you are able to return to the Arcane College well into the night. And, put your horses in the stable and get yourselves some shut-eye.
Although before we do that, would it be possible to really quickly check on Nathan in the dungeons?
Well,
just see if he's still around.
I suppose I'd ask which gatehouse you stash him in. I don't remember.
I don't know either, but I'm sure my character would, right?
The
That's how
nearest
that
one,
works.
probably. Which would probably be the Heights one, then?
say
Yeah.
yes, because you guys are heading from the heights to the docks. Sure, you can, if you so desired, you could leave the center and head towards the heights. You'd have to go basically one of the gatehouses between the docks and the heights.
While there's ghasts and ghouls and stuff in town.
Yeah, we'll go with you. That seems safest.
Yeah.
Dwohurim will grumble about it, saying that if he's not there, he's not going to be there in the morning either.
All right. Are you transitioning from like basically from after having delivered him, or are you gonna like head to the Arcane College before you had this epiphany?
I imagine it's like we delivered him, and then
All right.
Aurelia would be like, you know.
Yeah.
We could, of course, go back first. I mean, it's really up to her when she wants to spit out.
That's right. Yeah. When will you have this epiphany, Chief?
Well, right after delivering sounds fine.
Okay. Right after delivering, and the three of you lead your trek. Of course, heading out of the center. Pressing on towards the docks. Well, the gatehouse in question is between the docks and the heights, so you do have to get a bit of travel. The docks is a bit more poorly lit. Of course, you could always transition into the heights and then head up north into the heights. Your call.
Aurelia will just grumble about how stupid it is to not walk the streets at night and to stick to the light. It's completely counterintuitive to her.
Well, Dwohurim would say that if any place is great, it's the heights. So let's go for the heights, because we know how many guards there are there. Surely ghasts would not be in the heights of all places.
All right. You head from the center to the heights. Stop challenge, of course, but you're permitted entry into the nobility district. Heading then on north. And certainly it does seem as if you've made the safest choice, for there are more guards on the streets here. It seems that this whole scare of undead being on the streets of Newport has gotten the nobles all riled up, and when they get riled up, that's when money gets thrown at problems and they get solved. At least for the nobles. And you are able to check in at the night at the gatehouse, and sure enough, Nathan is there at this time of night sleeping.
Aurelia is disappointed.
Well,
she will
we
explain
can go
that.
home and sleep ourselves now.
Well, yes, but if he had been gone, then at least that would have confirmed my suspicions. But now that he is here, that means that either he is not yet very interesting to the Black Fang, who I still think he works for, or he's useless. Either way, I think sleep would be appropriate.
The guard at the gatehouse will ask, is this individual still material to the Thurl Dural murder investigation?
Oh, definitely.
All right.
Dwohurim will mumble that Aurelia has the authority on that, and then he will go out to prepare to go back.
Not used to taking orders from a Dragonkin, but all right.
Has he said anything?
Oh,
so
yes,
far?
he said plenty of things. Mainly due to how this is a great injustice, and that he is entirely innocent of whatever he's being accused of, and how he would really like to go on with his life. You know, standard I've been locked up in a jail talk.
I suppose that is appropriate for the situation. Still, disappointing. Then she'll leave.
The veteran guardsman will shake his head. You guys head back through the heights to get back to the Arcane College?
I suppose. Although, if the gas are gonna attack anyone, it probably is gonna be civilians who can't defend themselves, so it might be good to patrol the streets while we walk back.
It's really not our job to do that sort of thing. We're also it's late, tired, and I'd really prefer to have Leon if he's here. If anyone knows about the dead things, it's him.
I suppose.
Although certainly getting a couple of guests would fulfill my my payment to local alchemist.
Yes, that too.
Tomorrow night we might take a stroll.
Okay. Heading back through the heights to the Arcane College in the center, you encounter no hostile action. Or really much of anyone other than some guardsmen who, of course, are more active, what with the recent scare. You're able to stable your horses and actually get to your beds. There will be a note in Dwohurim's sort of like sleeping area, basically signifying from Lord Teraptus that he got your message, and perhaps, given your past history with Ajax, you should stay away from him. That's not an order, at least as far as you can tell from the writing, more like a suggestion.
I suggest you stay away from him.
You keep your distance.
Would be a shame if something happened to him.
Yeah. But now at least I know that you won't be responsible if it does.
Well, you can read whatever innuendo you want into written words.
Dwohurim will snatch the letter and begin making his alibi in his sleep.
All right.
Dreaming about alibis.
Well,
you don't need an alibi.
Oh,
if
I
you
was
get
there. I
lost.
was in a fishing village.
well, the group is able to sleep and rest without incident, and you will wake up in whatever time is appropriate for you to awaken on the 3rd of Readying. It is still very early spring. Rather cold outside, though not as abysmally cold as it was in the deepest throes of winter. Still, it is... outside right now, it's probably as chilly as what it was during last year's winter.
Well, Dwohurim will probably wake up at like 10.
Leon will be up relatively early, and all of you will be really good to smell a nice cooked.
You cannot do this.
Dark did say his internet connection was so shoddy.
A nice cooked what?
What is it that was cooked?
I need to know this.
What a cliffhanger. Next week, find out what it is that Leon cooked.
Roast? Is it?
A nice cooked ghast. What?
Yeah, we need to end the station right now.
He's eating out
Can't
there.
wait.
What do you become if you eat a ghast? Like a super ghast?
No, you don't know the answer to that question. Ghouls become gas by eating other ghouls.
It's like a pyramid scheme.
Well,
Levels of...
while Leon is cooking, you all should perhaps take and describe what it is that you're doing.
Dwohurim is sleeping in until it's really late because
Alright.
he hates mornings, and if you sleep in really late, he can skip the morning. So that's brilliant. Just wake up for like a joined breakfast sort of lunch option, and then begin his day around 2. So
Brunch, yeah, sure.
Welcome back, Dark.
a roast what? What was nice and being made?
What is Leon cooking?
Tell
What's
us.
the secret?
Come on.
Huh. I thought he was back, like his connection thing stopped, so I assume
There
he
we go.
connected
There
to
we
the
go.
call.
There we go.
Okay.
I'm back.
Yeah.
Leon is having a nice warm, like cooked breakfast. Like eggs and like bacon and,
We waited all
Golden
this
Smoke
time
apple.
to hear that. Oh my god, that was such a cliffhanger.
yes.
Like maybe it's a marinated goat's leg. Who knows?
I know, like the last word that we heard, like Leon is having like nice cooked.
I was
Look at
not
me.
expecting to drop there.
What's in the breakfast? What's in the
Caramel
breakfast?
pancake. I mean,
Fuck.
there's such.
Roasted ghoul.
Yeah, we
That
did
was
joke
one
about
of the options.
Mm.
All right.
I mean, there's been plenty of them around. Like clearing them is quite easy.
Well, Geráck is having a bit of trouble sleeping actually. He the last encounter sort of dug into his conscience a bit, and he's sort of unsure on if what he did was actually the right thing to do.
He doesn't believe in death penalty.
Well, that depends really, and sort of it should be a merciful death then, not really giving them over to red caps and letting them have their fun. So,
You should have paralyzed her first.
maybe.
Well, one would assume that being stomped to death with iron boots is rather quick.
Yeah.
That really depends on where they stomp.
So,
That many boots.
So maybe you'd, despite the fact that you guys didn't really stick around to see combat, and part of his advice, maybe get some flashes of what Domino could have done before you guys went off into the sunset.
She could miss a lot.
She could definitely miss, yes. And then, of course, you've seen these awesome guys in action before.
They could also miss.
They could also certainly miss. And, maybe have some rust monsters and gobbling their heavy armor.
Can I be kicked from the map tools?
Sure. It would be my pleasure.
How they will lose magical armor? Ugh. That is tough.
Yep.
Yes. That is their heavy armor attack. They have one versus light and no armor. And they most certainly, I can guarantee, do have a special one versus Tempus. And then...
not save or die.
Yeah, and then, there we go. Good job, oh no. Good job, oh
That's like no damage. What?
10.
And now you guys are filled with doubt. Well, good morning.
There's a catch, sheep. There's a catch.
Good morning, rise and shine.
If it weren't for those damn rust monsters, it wouldn't have been any question about what we should
Well,
do.
if it wasn't for those rust monsters, maybe Tempest would have been okay with it, but it was still 2-2.
I would have traded in those rust monsters for 4 more of those red cap guys.
Remember, these guys focus fire by design.
Yeah.
They all just jump like Aurelia and just kick her to death.
That is true.
You guys,
They don't just leave her bleeding.
You didn't really get a chance to see their boots in action.
Stompy boots. Regardless, Dwohurim actually doesn't really feel bad about leaving them. I mean, it kind of sucks to sort of leave with a little bit of a metaphorical tail between your legs in a way. It's not really a fleeing, but it certainly wasn't very courageous or brave either, in a way. Whole live to fight another day, not his favorite. He'd much more like to blow everything up and sort of repair it anew, make it nice and pretty and wonderful. Destroy all the evil things, but well, he doesn't feel bad about not saving the brutal murderer Domino, because, well, she's a Black Fang almost. If they would have allowed her to join, she would have.
Well, yeah, if she was innocent, that would have been a completely different scenario.
Different situation, yeah.
Oh, come on. Who is really completely innocent?
I love how you're all having like this internal dream debate.
Who knows the others well enough to infer what they would say.
Exactly.
They used to make their voices sound more stupid in his own mind. No problem.
So outside the doors of Dwohurim and Leon, there will be a message left. It seems a little bit of script, perhaps written by like an apprentice or a scribe, that in the main lobby area there is a little forest sprite that is looking for your group, and the names that are thrown out suggest that looking for folks like Thomas and Fargus and Tempus, not Aurelia and Geráck.
Run away, quick.
I'm frowned, remembering what happened last time when they talked to forest sprites.
Yeah, it's not a pixie, it's a sprite. There's maybe a difference. Actually, Dwohurim probably doesn't fucking know.
There probably isn't.
He just assumed the worst.
He knows probably that they're small and come from the forest, and that's usually bad news. Because anything small that survives in there is usually really mean and like terrible in some way.
Or
Then again, maybe it's here to tell him that the High Druid really wants him to kill Ajax for her. So,
Who knows?
Or maybe it's the stag that has somehow sensed that he would like to talk to it. Anyway, people go get Leon, probably even the others as well, and try to talk to Pixie.
Yes, the little sprite thing, which, as it turns out, is whenever you arrive in the main lobby area, it's basically like little more than like a little green glowing mode of energy. And really, when you look at it, it looks much like the watch sprites. Speaking of which, oh, hi! They like cheer from inside the glass bottle.
Oh, he'll take it out.
They like start like fluttering against like the glass, and then the forest sprite looks like a little perturbed. And that is when the alarmed sprites go off, actually. They trigger. Oh. The glass shatters. Like sitting like shards. Like, not for any points of damage. Like shards go everywhere over the main hall.
Good morning, everyone.
The forest sprite like kind of like nervously and slowly backs away. As the watch sprites go, yeah, we're finally... And little two popping sounds as they wink out of existence.
Sort of sighs deeply as well. I suppose it was as good a time as any.
And really, Dwohurim would think this was probably the best place to do it, since the Arcane College is probably familiar with obnoxious watch sprites. Mm-hmm. The small forest sprite will shudder and then fly towards Dwohurim and Leon and say, "Thank goodness I finally found you. It was so difficult. I was looking for a druid, and I realized much too late that he is no longer with us."
Yes, it is quite a shame. What brings you here?
I bring message from Thero the Ever-Living, he who assisted you and your companions in the city of Dragonhall. He is looking to cash in on the favor that your group that Fargus promised would be paid. A companion of Thero's has been captured in the city of Dragonhall, and he is hoping for your assistance before she is likely eaten.
Looks slightly incredulous. Says what companion? Where?
It's more than just his apprentice, but they're also lovers. She was snatched up by agents of Chook, the menacing green dragon. Chook and Thero have no love for each other, and Chook is tormenting the woman as we speak within her manor, and undoubtedly trying to get the secrets of the grove out of her.
Oh, I see.
Yes, and Thero the Ever-Living, for as strong as he is, he wanted, or rather he thought that you all, for apparently it is known that you had perhaps met with the dragon, could go there and get the lover free. Her name is Adriana. It's very pretty.
Yes, let's go back to the city of Blue to rescue a maiden from a dragon because her name
not a maiden,
is pretty.
A powerful druid, though not as powerful as Thero the Ever-Living.
Apparently not powerful enough to not get captured.
Excuse me, do I know you? Like, the forest sprite will, fly up obnoxiously close to Aurelia's face.
Really will stare at it and not say anything anymore.
She'll, put her hands on her tiny hips.
What is the time frame for this?
Thero thinks that his beloved could hold out for the remainder of the month, and no longer. If you could return to the city and free her either by any means you deem possible before readying passes, that should, he hopes, be sufficient. Chook is a slow and malicious torturer. She has all of the ages, and she is markedly known for playing with her food.
Does he know what happened to Fargus now? Have you reported to him somehow?
I have not, no.
I see. We shall certainly give this some consideration. I believe he's a man of some power, yes. druid in the City of Blue would be a good friend to have. We are pressed in time, and the seas are growing ever more difficult to pass.
Your impactful, profound words seem to go right over the tiny sprite's head. So I should tell him that you will agree?
Can you bring word to him and then return here?
Well, probably another one could. I mean, it'll take some time. Travel isn't fast,
Oh, we know.
Okay, what
We would like to help him. He looks to the others for someone to disagree.
Aurelia disagrees.
However, we have many things to do here as well. If he could at least give us some aid in traveling the distance, there might be some... I don't exactly know how. I'm not a druid. But traveling the distance is the major problem. We would need to go there and be back in relatively short time, or Newport is going to fall to the agents of the Black.